It's your fault. You were behind this. That's very direct and insulting. I kindly urge you not to do that. What we are going to work on today will help you at IELTS, but it will also help you in your real life. So the experience is not a very pleasant experience, I know, but if you improve your power of English, you will be able to write such letters later on, even after IELTS, that can help you get an unfavorable situation into a favorable situation for yourselves. So stay tuned, because the letter we are going to assess, score, and improve at IELTS Juice today has that experience, and we are going to learn a lot. Let's begin. The rubric says, recently you have traveled by plane. So you had a flight. Maybe it was an international flight, maybe it was a domestic flight. Doesn't matter, you decide. And during the journey, you had an issue with one of the airline employees. So it's one individual, and the employee can be anybody, from flight attendants all the way to the check-in counter agents, or maybe ticket agents, or it can even be somebody related to the airline who was supposed to greet you at the airport, take you to the business lounge or first class lounge, and that individual was not there at that point. For some who need special care, maybe they're disabled or temporarily disabled, and they need a special care, there are some special services that you may book in advance, but those people didn't show up. That can be also an issue. I want you to open your horizon and remember that you are targeting an individual who is an employee of the airline you dealt with or you purchased your tickets from, not the airport. So the police at the airport has nothing to do with the airline. Let's be technically accurate. So the airport authorities or those who work at the airport are not necessarily related to the airlines. That I just wanted to say, when I say employee and when I say open your horizons, please make sure that you are targeting people that they usually wear a uniform with a badge. These people clearly are representatives of a certain airline. Write a letter to the company manager. In your letter, give details of your flight. Feel free to give details, plural, of your flight. So flight number, what type of ticket it was, round trip or single ticket. Did you have any layovers? From what airport to what airport, or from which country to what to the destination country? At what time? You usually say flight number, and it usually consists of 2 letters and 3-4 digits, something like TK0978, for instance, and that would help you write the date on Wednesday, 28th of some months. Be specific, and the flight from that hour to this, from this airport to that airport. Usually the airports have this 3-letter acronym, the three-letter indicators, like LAX is the airport for Los Angeles. You don't have to be super accurate. I'm just telling you, when IELTS says details, please include some of them. Choose. You don't have to pick all of them. Just choose some of the elements. Choose enough so that if the manager of airline is going to look at it, that manager will be able to understand who the individual employee at that shift was, which location it was, so that he can pick up the phone and contact that employee to understand what the whole story was. So just give enough details. Describe the issue you've encountered. You need to tell a story here. Start by a little bit before the event, and then you reach a peak that it's exactly where you explain the event, and then it comes down when you say, okay, these are once that happened, the reaction, what the activities, the actions that they were supposed to take were these, and the actions that they were supposed to take but they didn't are these. Basically, create a picture a little bit before the event, then the event, and a little bit after the event. That would help you create a scenario like that. And finally, say what you expect the manager to do. Now, that employee apparently didn't do his or her job properly, so now you are asking the manager to step in. The manager needs to take certain actions that are managerial. You shouldn't expect the manager to do the simple task instead of the employee. Like if the employee failed to do so, you want to ask the manager to do the same thing. The manager should order the same action if you expect. So I want you to use a different set of vocabulary, and I want you to think about different policies. Maybe you want to prevent these things from happening ever again. Anything you want to say, make sure that you talk to the manager and include those elements, those suggestions there. With that in mind, let's look at the sample we have at hand. Dear sir or madam, okay, I understand you may not know the name of the manager, and that is a good salutation. So you don't know who the individual is. Many of us really don't know. That's fair. And dear sir or madam is very polite and professional. And the letter is absolutely formal. I am writing with regard to a flight that I have taken from your airline, the Fly Emirates. All right. 2 days ago, for a job-related issue, I need a comma here, not full stop. I traveled to Dubai, not the Dubai. Dubai is a city, it's a proper noun, and we have only one Dubai. Everybody on the planet knows where Dubai is. If you ask them, they search on the map and they show you. If it's known to everybody, then you don't need to say the. It's known. So to Dubai. And yesterday, maybe I need a. I traveled to Dubai and came back yesterday. Maybe that's better. That's smoother than this. I don't like the subject remains the same, so I don't need this subject. And this and doesn't need a comma. Just this organization, word formation should be different. To my hometown, Hanoi. Okay, in Vietnam. Wonderful. It was a round trip flight. That's good. You see, we are showing details. But round trip needs a hyphen because it's a noun defining flight that I booked 10 days ago with the reference number. Oh, okay. Instead of the flight number, you are giving away your ticket's reference number, which is, I guess, in their systems trackable. So that's fine. I like it that it starts with hash. I like the attention to detail. I like that. Unfortunately, during my flight back to Hanoi, again, Hanoi is one city. You don't need to say the. Everybody knows where it is. They can show you where it is on the map. Suddenly, the plane started vibrating. Okay. We don't use the word vibrating for a plane. It's turbulence. That's the correct word. So the plane started to experience some turbulence. Vibration usually is deliberate. So I know, and this is not deliberate. While one of the flight attendants, there are at least 3, 4, depends on the size of the plane, of course. But when there are many, it means from 2 to maybe 6, 7, I don't know, flight attendants are there on board on any plane at any given time. Was providing hot tea for the passenger. The passenger who was seated, not spelled incorrectly, this is cited, who was seated adjacent to me. Okay. As a result of this rapid movement, meaning turbulence, but the writer doesn't know the word turbulence or doesn't know how to spell it, almost all of the cup of tea spilled over my recently bought suit. Oh, I mean, I like this. I like this. Recently bought suit. Just, this is an adverb. You don't need a hyphen here. Adverb's job is to modify the word that comes after them if they're used in this way. So you don't need to form a word to say that this type of suit was recently bought. It's a bought suit, obviously, but it's a recently bought suit, a suit that was purchased or bought recently. There is some control, I like it. There's some control and knowledge about vocabulary in specific here. And after the flight, I need a comma. I need a comma here. It's important. I took my suit to the laundry, but it was not cleanable. Whoa, really? A cup of tea on your suit? Oh, that's sad. That is sad. Or it might be, it can be removed, but it will damage the suit anyway. So this, when you say it wasn't cleanable, you actually mean that that suit was, that stain was not removable. As for the aforementioned suit, as the aforementioned suit is no longer usable because of your flight attendant's mistake, okay, that's not a good tone. It's never a polite gesture when you point your finger at somebody. It's your fault. You were behind this. That's very direct and insulting. I kindly urge you not to do that. You can say, this is no longer usable because that flight attendant's reckless mistake or reckless behavior resulted in this problem, resulted in this bitter outcome. Bitter means sad, and you are sad, they are sad, everybody's upset. You have a higher chance of getting a positive response if you include everybody in your scenario. I request $200 reimbursement for the expenses incurred. Whoa, good word. Incur, expense, good collocation. Enclosed is the receipt of my suit's purchase the day before the flight, or a day before the flight. One day before the flight. I like that. I really, really like that. This is a good approach. I look forward to receiving your answer and reimbursement of all charges. This is not a good move. I know you're angry and you expect reimbursement. Do not limit the options. Try to give suggestions to the manager, 1, 2, 3 suggestions, and let him choose. Your goal is not to get $200 cash from the manager with an apology. Your goal should be to ask for a proper, decent reimbursement. Maybe they can give you something valued at more than $200, maybe $300, $400, $500. If you get an upgrade from a certain flight, economy class to business class, for instance, that can be up to $2,000, $3,000 upgrades, depending on the flight, of course. So think about it. It's a win-win situation. 170 words. And by the way, the conclusion is only one word, one sentence, pardon me. One sentence. I preferred another sentence. You can show a little bit of appreciation, at least, that you understand it was turbulence, it was nature, and this happened, or the employee was young and not mature, didn't learn how to properly address the passengers, things like that. You will understand that. Anyway, 170 words. Let's look at the band descriptors. Okay. Let's start from this part that I really like, the range of grammar. There are some mistakes. They did not affect my understanding, but there are grammar mistakes, punctuation mistakes that we needed to address. And as for grammar, we needed a little touch of better grammatical structures, a better range over here. As for vocabulary, again, as you can see, we acknowledge the presence of advanced words, and the range is sufficient. But we had some spelling issues, and some words were not used accurately. We understood the knowledge of the word is, in some cases, it's there, but in a few other cases, we needed the appropriate word for that. But if you, for instance, use a plane vibrated, and we understand, so the message is not harmed, but it's not the proper natural word to say. That's why the lexical item receives a 6. We had issues with the, so that the referring to a specific item that there's no need to explain. That reference could be improved. This is very close to getting a 7. All the other elements are quite clear. And as for task achievement, I love every single element. One thing, your purpose to ask for reimbursement is generally clear. If you check the description of this video, you will see the link to this particular response and its version that we improved to 7, in which we implemented almost all of the elements that I talked about here in this video. And you will be able to actually see what it would look like if it were improved and it were a good sample for 7. If you wish to see other videos like this, you know where to click. I hope you're considering subscribing to the channel, and I hope I'll be assessing your task 1 or task 2 samples later on. Take care.